the first thing we need to do is go into our data tab here. So go into Bubble, go to our data tab on the left. And what we're going to do is add data types, which is going to allow us to save data into our database. So the first new type is going to be a document. So we're just going to add documents here. And this is going to be documents that we're uploading to our vector database. And then second will be document chunk. So this document chunk will be the actual chunks of parts of that document. So we have the document and the document chunk. Then inside of that document, we're going to create a new field, which is going to be the name. And that is a text field. So we're going to be able to name our document. And then in the document chunk, the first field name is going to be text, which is text. So this is the text of that document chunk. And then there's going to be another one, which is called document. And we're going to search for document. And this is going to be a reference to that document field. And each document chunk can only have one document reference. So we're going to keep this unchecked. It is not a list. So now we're going to go back into our designer and we're going to start building in Bubble. And we're going to build out some design here, but it's not going to necessarily be the prettiest Bubble app. There's other tutorials on NoCodeMBA, which will help you learn more about styling in Bubble. But I don't want to waste too much time on styling in this tutorial because that can take a little bit of time as well. I want to really focus on the functionality here in this tutorial. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a group. I'm going to search for a group on the left side here in the Element UI Builder. Again, there's a whole Bubble course in NoCodeMBA that'll help you really go in depth in Bubble and learn more about Bubble. So here on the left side, we have our group container, and I'm just going to drag this in. Right now, you can see this is a fixed layout because I can drag it anywhere I want. What I'm going to do is go to that page index. Under the layout, I'm going to change it to a column. And then that group A, I'm going to rename to a container. And make sure you're on the layout tab. So each tab here is going to have an appearance tab, a layout tab, and a conditional tab. And we might work with each of those tabs as we kind of keep building here. Under the layout tab, I'm going to make this a column. And I'm going to uncheck fixed width. And by doing that, you can see it went all the way across the page. The minimum width, I'm going to make 0. And the min height, for now, I'm just going to make it 200 here. And then under appearance, I'm going to go down under background style, just give it a flat color, a very light gray here. And then for roundness, I'm going to say 20. And then under layout, I'm going to give it margins of 30 on the left and right, and on top 30 as well. So now we have this little gray box in the middle of our screen here. And I'm going to now go ahead and add an input box, which is going to be a multi-line input, and just drag that in. And we're going to go ahead and go to layout, uncheck fixed width, 0 min width, min height, let's say 150. Now you can see it's inside the container here. So we have the container, the page index, the container, and the multi-line input. In that container, I'm going to now give it padding of 20 on all sides. Okay. And now above that multi-line input, we have this text element here that I pulled in, and I'm just going to say input text. And under layout, again, uncheck fixed width, 0 min width, 0 min height. The container itself, I'm going to go to the layout of the container, apply gap spacing between the elements, which is going to allow us to add, let's say 15 or maybe 10 pixels of gap in between each element that we have in this container. So the container is a column layout, so it's stacking them, and then we can have gap spacing in between each element. Okay, so there's a little bit of setup here for our design, but we're getting close. Okay, and so we have our document here. So I'm just going to say document text. And then I'm going to name this document text. But what I also want to do is have a document title. So in order to do that, I'm going to search for input. So we have multi-line input and input. For this, I just want input, and I'm going to drag it up at the top. The layout is going to be unchecked, 0. Going to keep the height at 48. The placeholder is going to be title. And then what I'm going to do is go to this document text here, copy and paste it, and drag it up at the top. So we have document text, or document title. So I'm going to rename that to document title, title, document text, document text. And I'm doing this because in the first example, we're going to paste in a text here, which is the text we're going to upload to our vector database. But in the future, later on in the tutorial, I'm going to show you how to upload a PDF or upload a web page and then take the contents of that information and use that in the vector database and use that for like a question and answer type of bot that only uses that that information from your vector database. Okay, so next we're going to add a button here at the bottom. The button is going to say upload to vector database. Layout can be uncheck fixed width, 0 min width. I can fit width to content here for the button. And there we go. So we have the document title, the document text, and upload to our vector database.